Alright everyone, let's get started into this. In my last two videos, I made connections between the bird being freed on Twitter. Elon Musk posted, "The bird is freed," and I talked about how it was tied to Norse mythology and Odin, who releases his ravens to gather information. Odin being the god in Norse mythology. And yesterday, right on cue, and the same day I released that video, the Viking Raiders of WWE released a video called Ascent to Valhalla. And Valhalla means Hall of the Slain. It is described as a majestic hall located in Asgard and presided over by the god Odin. Again, I just talked about Odin yesterday, and now we have this Norse mythology Viking Raiders Ascent to Valhalla. And this also ties in with the golden ratio stuff that's going on, because this ties in with the book of Revelations, because this is all about Ragnarok, which is the end times of Norse mythology, and Revelation, which is the Christianity end times. And in the Church of Philadelphia chapter, which I've talked about, which is Revelation 3, it talks about the Church of Philadelphia, and it talks about the key of David opening a door. And I'm going to tell you just how this symbolism is. They're telling us they're opening a door, and the key is given to the Church of Philadelphia. All right. And again, guys, we had the Texans versus Eagles game. If you haven't watched or seen my community post or watched my videos, the Texans and Eagles records after the game ended up being the golden ratio 16180. The Texans were 1-6-1 and the Eagles were 8-0, which is the first 5 digits of phi, golden ratio. And again, the key of David represents perfection, the key of David given to the Church of Philadelphia to open doors and that no man can open, right? So, and now we have this Valhalla thing with these Viking Raiders, and notice that Texans versus Eagles equals 236, just like Valhalla awaits. Now in this video, the only words spoken are the words Valhalla awaits, and that's a direct match in two ciphers to Hall of the Slain, which is what Valhalla means, is Hall of the Slain, okay? And again, they all have the 236, Valhalla awaits, Hall of the Slain, Texans versus Eagles, and the date November 17th, 2022, written in Roman numerals, which again, I'm correlating with Biden. Notice that Valhalla awaits and President Joe Biden in squares is a direct match. Notice that that number is also have the 236 in it, just like Valhalla awaits. It just has the 2356. And again, guys, this connects to Odin, the god in Norse mythology, who equals 24 along with Valhalla. This also coincides with the war stuff going on. Kim Jong-un and World War and Valhalla all equal 48, including plutonium, which is the nuclear element that I've talked about earlier this year in a lot of my videos. So you have all of these things coinciding right now. And again, guys, there's so much here. This is about the book of Revelation and Ragnarok. But now I want to talk mostly about how this ties in with the election, the midterm elections, and the first ever blood moon lunar eclipse. So this is the first time ever in the history of the United States that on election day there will be a blood moon lunar eclipse. So if you guys don't think that this is symbolic and that this is telling us that something big is going to happen, then you're just not seeing it clearly, because this is the first ever blood moon lunar eclipse. So it's the first time ever on election day that this event is happening. It's happening on 11/8. And I told you guys that this article here says the first ever blood moon election day blood moon lunar eclipse. So that phrase, I'm going to take that phrase and I'm going to show you how it ties to Revelation 4, because I told you that the whole Church of Philadelphia thing is happening right now. When the World Series is over, and if Philadelphia wins or loses, either way, they're symbolizing the key, because Philadelphia represents the key to opening the astro door. Notice that the astro is like the astral plane, a different plane, right? Just like with the CERN stuff that happened on July 5th, the 57, it's all about that opening the door to a new realm. And the Philadelphia is the key to opening the astro door. That's how I see it. So, if Philadelphia loses, it's still symbolic, because it's the Astros are symbolic of them using the Philadelphia key to open that door, the astro door. Even if Philadelphia wins the World Series, it still makes sense either way, because again, the two teams that are playing are Houston, are the Astros, and the Phillies. Philadelphia is the key, Astros the door. Okay? And so yeah, anyways, this blood moon lunar eclipse is also part of this, because this is the turning point, the door. This is the first ever. All right? And I want to talk about this revelation connection, because immediately after the Church of Philadelphia chapter ends, which is Revelation 3, the next chapter, the next verse after the end of the Philadelphia chapter begins with, "After this I looked, and behold, a door was opened in heaven." And guys, I was just telling you about the Astros. The Philadelphia have the key, and they're opening the door. And the very first passage after the Philadelphia chapter is about a door being opened in heaven. Astro field, astro plane, the heavens. All right? And so let's decode this, because this ties in with this blood moon lunar eclipse, because this is the first one ever. This is all about the astro, the astrology, right? Astro. And after this I looked, behold, a door was opened in heaven, is a direct match to first ever election day blood moon lunar eclipse. So the phrase that I get from this article, first ever election day blood moon lunar eclipse, is a direct match to the very first passage after the Key of Philadelphia chapter. Again, guys, Revelation 3 ends, and then this is the very first verse about a door being opened, and these phrases, "After this I looked, and behold, a door was opened in heaven," 475, first ever election day blood moon lunar eclipse equals 475. Okay? Again, here it is. There's the two phrases. They directly match. So again, the World Series will end on, at the latest, it will end on November 6th. 2 days later, we have this blood moon, and the door will be opened. And I'm telling you, someday in November, we will have an event. Will it be the 11th? Will it be the 10th, the 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, maybe the 17th? But either way, guys, also watch out for Russell Wilson's birthday on the 11/29. And there's so much, there's every day. I'm not going to try to select a day in November, because honestly, they could be any day. Or it could be in December, because, guys, again, it doesn't matter what day it happens. It's just saying they're telling us what's coming. After this I looked, and behold, a door was opened in heaven. It's just crazy that these phrases of all things would match. Again, we're living out this chapter. I just told you that the Philadelphia chapter ends with the key, and then the next chapter is the door, and the door matches the blood moon lunar eclipse for the first time ever. I'm just blown away, guys. So anyways, take care. I will see you in the next video.